I think that most people, when they see an entertainment product, like a film or a TV series, there's the sense that this is made for the public at large. The thing is designed to be for the largest audience possible. That's the way to say it. So, obviously, anyone who makes a film, for instance, would want to have the largest audience possible, or it'd stand to reason that that's what they would want. But while that's probably the case with many things, I don't think it's the case with all of them. And increasingly, I have the sense that entertainment functions as a sorting mechanism. It's sort of like bands, musical bands. People vibrate with different types of energy, different types of emotional expression. So I've often thought of bands as being similar to what you get from a centrifuge. When you spin something at a certain rate, it separates different molecular weights, and you get this banding. I think that's kind of what happens in society with entertainments. There are these different vibes that get put out there, and it kind of sorts people into their predisposition, a certain group. Some of the big mainstream productions, they will have messages for everyone. So when you watch something like one of the Marvel franchise productions, there's kind of something in there for everyone. They know how to thread things together so that all the different bands are touched upon. All the different groups get their moment. But then there are other things where it's obviously a far more specialized target. And I think we're seeing this type of messaging happening within the political domain now. So what I'm thinking about is something like, you can imagine all the people who got sorted by a film like Despicable Me. So this is an animated film, so the target audience is children. And it's kind of about, how you can be a good-humored psychopath. It kind of puts psychopathy in a friendly cartoon framework. And so you can imagine that the children who are attracted to that resonance will be encouraged by such a thing. And as they work their way through their schooling and professional life, they will, some of them will now fancy themselves having attained the status of the primary figure in Despicable Me. I don't really remember what the person is called or really many details about it. I think I watched a little bit of it on an airline flight one day. It's really quite a remarkable film in a way. Not in a good way. So now, the presumption within politics is that there's this exercise to try to attract as many potential voters as possible. But as I have mentioned earlier, when you consider the minority rule, which is kind of a formalized way of discussing how small numbers of people can control large numbers of people by their intransigence and a couple of other basic properties, I think that there's some evidence to suggest that some of the messaging that's going on is actually targeted towards a very small number of people. And I'm really not sure how much I want to spell this out. The thing is, if you're talking about psychopaths, you certainly don't want to rattle the psychopath nest. Let's put it that way. So talking about psychopaths in the most broad terms as possible, if you have to talk about psychopaths, that's probably the way to do it. So let's see. Did I cover everything I was thinking of covering? I guess I'll say just one more brief thing about this, which is that sometimes the losing side is actually the winning side. So, for instance, if you are running for office of a ship that is sinking, like, are you the winner if you get into that office? And so, if you're running a campaign that knows that the ship is sinking, and you're supposedly running for that office, it would make sense for you to do things to lose that campaign. Right? No one in their right mind wants to be in the hot seat when the ship is going down. And with that, I bid you adieu until the next time. I just realized that adieu and adios are the same word. You know that and I'm assuming that this is what adieu means, but I know for a fact that adios means go with God. If any of this stuff resonates with you in a manner similar to that of the music you love, I hope you'll consider sharing this. And if you do have a few spare shekels, support is greatly appreciated. Until next time.